Welcome, ladies and gents, to part 2 of Draco's 100 Days on the Island. We went over most of what the series is about in part 1, so if you want to know what happened, go and check it out there. And I'll keep it brief here. These are days 11 through 50 of my playthrough on the island. We did a lot during these days, and I genuinely hope that the way I portray them in this video will be entertaining for all of you. But I don't want to keep you waiting, so without further ado, here is the video. Please enjoy. Day 11 started with the realization that I would need a fuck ton more charcoal than I was currently getting, so I decided to make a building entirely for the purpose of burning as much wood as possible. So here's a build montage. No, fuck you!
Shut the fuck up. You're not funny.
I finished the build on the morning of day 12, where I proceeded to spam craft a metric ton of campfires to destroy the environment harder than Saruman killed Isengard. Afterwards, I built a trap and did a tutorial for a viewer, which was something. Day 13 started with a small drop run, which, as I said before, is going to be a bit common in this playthrough, so bear with me. Unfortunate, but it's very...
Hell yeah! Honey. Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on!
Oh, that's really good. I paused my looting endeavors as I had found a really good level RG on Carno Island, so I proceeded to tame that. She tamed up nicely, and chat decided to name her Knight.
Justice for Gotham!
I went back to loot dropping on day 14, which yielded mixed results, and while I was exploring, I found a cute little Ovis that died. I flew back home, picking up 2 yellow drops on the way, where they both gave me some pretty decent things, and one gave me an ascendant sickle. Oh, yes, please. On day 15, I filled up the new campfires with wood to start burning charcoal, and afterwards I crafted a bunch of ammunition, darts, and a saddle for our new Spino. And true to his name, death was imminent for everything. We got home in the morning of day 16, filled to the absolute brim with succulent raw meat.
What did he say?
I built a trough to stuff my meat into it. And after that, I had gone out for some fun, where I tamed a high-level raptor, though we didn't go home immediately after that, as I continued on with my Carno, committing some felonies on the way. And then at the top of the mountain, I stole some crystal. The crystal must have been noxious, because I was acting really fucking dumb while I was doing this. Wait, that looks like saffron. Is that saffron? Oh my fucking... Bruh, my brain went monkey mode and was like, oh, that's saffron. On day 17, I was just doing some drop running, which was boring and uneventful, and I was looking for Ankies, which was also boring and uneventful. I eventually found something to do, which was a decent level RG, so you know what that means. After that, I committed a war crime to tame it, and then I tamed it. Yay! Very little happened on days 18 and 19, where I was still looting, still looking for Ankies, and none of them were good level! And to vent my anger, I committed a fucking crime! Luckily, Ark decided to tend to my frustrations later on with the beautiful level 135 RG, which I gladly tamed. Why are you looking down at me? You're level 5, pasty-ass turtle. I was home on day 20, where I still needed an Anki, and I had looked all over the map for one, except one place. An unsuspecting island in the south of the map, Herbivore Island. I knew Anki spawned there, so I figured I'd take my chance there. I grabbed the Spino, and I grabbed Pip, and we went out flying, where I eventually made my way to the island by midday. Looking around, I found a couple in the back of the island, where the first one sucked, but the second one was level 105. I finally had gotten my Anki.
Go to sleep, go to sleep.
One more dart should do it. Once it knocked out, I gave it some major berries, and I found a really good level stego, so we repeated the process. I waited for them both to tame. The Anki tamed first at level 157, and the Stego tamed out at level 251, which is really astonishing. We had to skip quite a bit of time as nothing really happened until the afternoon of day 21, where we found a level 120 fairy, which I went about taming with some struggles. To commit a Britain. Don't hurt me! Wait, hold up. I have error. Do not hurt me. Do not hurt me. Do not hurt me. Do not hurt me. I did not mean it. I and motherfucker, you're closer than I thought. Eventually, I knocked it out, gave it some food, and I had to wait for it to tame, which Ark didn't like for some reason. Theory, which was debunked. Okay, never mind. I'm an idiot. Ah, you motherfuckers! What the fuck? Fuck off! That fucking scared the shit out of me. It tamed out in the early morning of day 22, and we got back home with all the dinos later in the morning, where I threw them all out around base. While I was doing this, I was also talking to chat, and we came with the decision that I really shouldn't have gotten the car, so I cryoed it to be sacrificed into the volcano, because that's absolutely the same thing to do, right? Later, I began crafting the saddles for the utility dinos, a saddle for a kangaroo, one for the fairy, one for the Anki, and one for a megaloceros. I already had one for the doed, so I just put it in the smithy. Afterwards, I went into the pollution building, where I started collecting charcoal, which, if I might say, there was a hefty haul, though that was probably curbed by the fact that I was a fucking idiot. Why aren't you on fire? Why aren't you on fire? Just give me all the meat. I'm gonna be like an Arby's employee. I'm collecting all the meat. No! This here is a bucket. I should stop, because that is the cringiest thing I've ever done. Holy God. Here, I got a better one. Let me... My phone's dead. Oh, God. On day 23, I had but one thing on the mind. Metal. So I quickly fashioned together a saddle for an RG and equipped the Anki and the Burb with their respective saddles and went out for the biggest metal run yet. Oh. It's the wrong one. Right. There you go. Get it? Flint. Metal. Metal. Bunch of metal. No! Not the metal. Huh? Punch around. On day 24, I found that the amount of metal that I had harvested would require a lot more forges in order to smelt it, so I decided I was going to need to make a smithery, if you will. I started by creating a bunch of spark powder, which, while crafting it, I decided to do some cleaning. They're trying to ascend! Oh, there he goes. There he goes. There he goes. He tried to ascend. He's failing miserably. Oh my God, he's ascending! He's actually doing really well. Oh my God. Look at that hand. That hand. Like one of those Grat Packs from that horror game. Oh my God, he's doing it again! I started building the compound on day 25, but this lasted till day 28. So, here's a build montage. No joke this time. It was the middle of day 28 when I finished building the actual structure, and now all I had to do was furnish it, so I went ahead and made a bunch of forges. With the building done by day 29, I began the preparations to fill up the forges to smelt the metal. Doing some quick math, I had 14 forges and roughly 40 stacks of raw metal, which doing some quick division meant that I would need to put 3 stacks of metal per forge, so I went around doing that. And for those who were curious, we ended up getting around 12,000 raw metal, which I could convert into 6,000 ingots. We are rich, baby! Afterwards, I wanted to start making a shitload of spark powder and gunpowder, so I went around my base gathering the materials I would need and smashed them all together in the mortars to get what I wanted. I realized I needed flint in order to make the spark powder, so I went and got my RG and my Anki and we went around looking for rocks to smash. Finishing up, I got the flint to make spark powder. No shit. On day 30, I went out looking for a kangaroo. I would really like it for berry harvesting, but as you'll see later, it was a bit tedious to find. For now, I found a really good red drop. Okay, I had time. Ooh, that is awesome. I continued looking for a roo, but I detoured as I found a level 130 male RG. All my RGs were female back at home, so I promptly tamed it. When I knocked out, I needed prime meat, so I committed a crime. And then I tamed them up. Yay. I continued looking for a kangaroo, but I found a good level Rex instead.
Don't mind if I do.
Ow, 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 ow. Get stuck, idiot. And you're running already? It was a fake out. It was a fake out. I'm pretty sure it was a fake out. 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 It was a fake out, you fucking bitch. You a was. Ow! Bugger off. Stop biting me. Finally, you're running.
Gotcha, bitch.
Ah, you stop faking me out. Ow. Fucking saber. Where'd it go? There she is. You thought you could run from me? Ah! It tamed up good with prime meat and I cryoed it. And afterwards I went looking for the kangaroo in the redwoods where I found a decent level elk tame. And then afterwards I finally found the roo on the top of the redwood mountain. It was low level, but I had been looking for it for a while, so I tamed it anyways. While the kangaroo was taming, I started postulating a question. Every dino that I was looking for, the Anki, the Roo, and other things that I've looked for, have taken forever to find, literally hours, and I don't know why. But I came up with a theory. Ark must have cursed me, obviously! Cursed me for cheating in the car. So, as discussed with chat earlier, I began preparations for a ritual at the volcano and sacrificed the car char to cleanse me of my sins. This time... No. We got this! Carnage! This will redeem my sins! Redeem me! Cleanse me of my sins! It is done! I have been sanctified of my crimes! And now we go back to regular Ark. Day 31 started with the collection of a red drop where I got some serious firepower. On land. What? Yo, look at that sword. That's crispy. And that gun. Oh my god, look at that durability. Yo. That is some nasty firepower. Later on, I got back to base, where I threw out the Megaloceros, giving them a nice saddle, but I was too heavy to ride them. So I threw out the Rex. I didn't have a saddle, so I couldn't ride her either. And after that, I threw out the Kangaroo. I had decided that I wanted to make a hefty amount of narcotics, so I grabbed some spoiled meat, grabbed the Procoptodon saddle, and went on a big berry run. After that, I began to make more narcotics than the entirety of the Breaking Bad universe. After that, I finally tested out the Megaloceros, getting a ton of thatch and breaking the sound barrier with its speed. I also decided to play around with the Procoptodon, which was really cool. Whee! Sweet home Alabama. I ended up taking a break halfway through day 31, but when I logged back on, it was the early morning of day 32. I didn't really notice in the footage, however, that didn't stop me from playing. I started by crafting some shotgun ammo for, well, a shotgun, and then I put some excess gunpowder into the fabricator and crafted some ammunition for my new weaponry, mainly my assault rifle. Since the game skipped time, the narcotics that I crafted the other day had finished far sooner than expected, so I grabbed them all up, and while I grabbed them, I grabbed the spark powder that I had crafted a couple days before, as I would most definitely need it for gunpowder, as this new assault rifle was going to be an ammunition guzzler. But in order to craft gunpowder, I needed charcoal, so I went to the pollution building and started gathering as much as I could. While I was there, I was also brainstorming what I was going to do next. I needed to beat at least one of the bosses by the end of the playthrough, which means I needed to go do some caving. So I started brainstorming which cave to do first, which I determined would need to be the chitin cave, as without grappling hooks, I couldn't really do any others. But in order to do any caves, I would need a saber. So I decided to go do some crafting, mainly for trank darts, but I also crafted a Rex saddle because that would be fun, right? In the very early morning of day 33, I went out to Carno Island looking for a saber and to test out some new weaponry. I had been looking for sabers for a while. I wanted to level 100, but I ended up conceding and tamed the level 90 that I had been eyeing up for a while.
You didn't earn any of your subscribers.
It tamed out at level 134, which wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. It didn't really matter though, so I just saddled him up and I went out for a leveling run. While I was hunting, I managed to find a level 120 saber, which was good, but also kinda not, because it made this saber that I had already gotten pretty much irrelevant. Either way, I tamed it up. It tamed at a level 179, which was much better than the other saber, obviously. So I took the saddle from the old saber, cryoed the old saber, and started to hunt with the new one. No hunting montage, though, this time. I was still on Carno Island on day 34, and I remembered that there was a cave on this island. One that you could run with a saber. The Cave of the Devourer. Alright, here we go. It's gonna be too hard, like, the saber isn't gonna die. You guys, but... Oh! There's a red drop down there, too. Ah, spiders. Wow, that's a lot. Kill, or pteranodons. It's like it is Daddy Draco. So, passive. I got to the bottom of the cave where I exterminated everything I could before retrieving my first artifact of the playthrough, the Devourer. After that, I tried leaving the cave, but I struggled. So I don't think... Oh, but I can probably jump over there. I kept falling. I couldn't get up for the life of me, but there is a saying, everything serves a purpose, and I suppose that this is one of those moments, because on my way up the cavern, I found a Megalania. Level 140, holy shit, yes, hold up. If you don't know what the Megalania is, it is the ancient ancestor of the Komodo dragon, and an Ark is the best caving creature, period, as it can climb walls, which makes it super useful in death zone caves like the lava cave, so there was no way I was passing this one up.
Oh my gosh. What do I do?
It tamed out really well, getting an extra 69 levels, and I decided to name it Saul. I left the cave in the early morning of day 35, where with the saber I continued to hunt for a little bit, but then later on I went to the volcano to go and run the chitin cave. This cave was a lot shorter than expected, so I'll keep it brief. I went through the cave, killing as many things as I could, including shooting up some centipedes. And then soon after I grabbed the artifact. I wasn't quite satisfied though, so I went around killing some more things and grabbing some explorer notes before I finally relented and left the cave in the afternoon. As I was getting my stuff together, I realized the amount of chitin I would need. I was going to need a lot of stone to turn it into cementing paste, which means I was going to need a dough head. So I went looking again. Before looking for the Dinosaurs, I returned home in the morning of day 36 to do some maintenance and preparation. First, I threw out the dinos that I had tamed while I was out. Then I began to do some crafting, getting some cementing paste, some storage boxes, which I placed around the base, and a ton of rifle ammo. Afterwards, I got a Megalania saddle from storage, and I saddled up Saul. It was going to be a long journey to find a Dinosaurs, so I decided to grab the things I need, grab Saul, struggle to find Pip, and left in the middle of the day. We found our first doehead later on a mountain, but it was low level, so I decided to test out Saul. Our search continued into day 37. It was too dark then to do some proper looking, so I looted some drops where I found an amazing blueprint from a red drop. That's an awesome blueprint. That is a goated blueprint. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's an amazing blueprint. Look at how cheap it is. Because of the drop, I ended up getting distracted by loot, getting some extra loot drops, including one from the Devourer cave, but eventually I got back on task until a beaver dam. These beavers must feel so defeated. I've destroyed their home like 5 times now. After my spurt of domestic terrorism, I went back to looking where eventually I found a level 85 Dinosaurs, but I wanted a level 100 plus, so I left it behind. I will regret this decision later. Anyways, I found some obsidian which I harvested for some artifact pedestals. The search for a Dinosaurs continued into day 38. Again, it was too dark to go looking, so I waited around in the sky, ogling the environment before returning to my search at sunrise. I went looking for a Dinosaurs in the redwoods, but only found shit. At this point, I was losing my patience, which was exacerbated by the fact that the only other interesting things that happened in this day is a beaver dam and an alpha carno. Oh, yeah, an alpha carno. So, remember in day 2 when I was stupid and went to Carno Island? Or in days 8 to 10 when I tried to tame a car with nothing? Well, guess what? I outdid both of those! No, screw it. Let's try it. I get some shots on it first. Oh god, it broke that shield easily.
Well, no fucking shit.
Okay, time to run away. Running away. No. Well, who could have thought that would have been the outcome to that scenario? Anyways, I recovered my body on day 39, where I went back to my objective, though I still found nothing good. By the snow, I found a level 10, and at the volcano, I found a level fucking 5 doehead. Is this some twisted joke, game? You taunt me. I finally found something to actually do, in that I found a level 150 RG, so I quickly began to knock it out, neglecting the fact that Pip was getting attacked in the background. And as you would guess, Pip died! Pip! I was shocked, but really I was just exhausted, so I didn't even care. I just kept on trying to knock out the RG, and eventually I did, putting some meat in its inventory, where I proceeded to Pip's body. Though when I got there, it was being eaten by a scorpion and an Argent. In anger, I went to go kill them both, eviscerating the scorpion, but in the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse at the RG's level, and after some further looking, I found that the RG was also level 150. Wow, hold up, a mating pair of 150s. The fact that it was level 150 took a lot of the pain away from Pip's death, so, I went about taming it. The first RG tamed after I had knocked out the second, and the second one had tamed during the last light of day 39. For all the loss, I had to say that it was a pretty beneficial day, as I did manage to get a breeding pair of RGs. The morning of day 40 began immediately after, where I began walking my sorry ass all the way back to base, as, well, Pip had died, obviously. I got home roughly around dawn, where I threw out all the dinos and began to lament about Pip's loss. He was the best for transportation. And, of course, he was a valued friend. But, you know what? I am so exhausted from trying to find a Dodocaris that I really can't take the blow to heart. So, I'm just going to call it a day. As suggested by the clip, I took a break from playing and returned on another stream, where it was the sunrise of day 40, and I ended up finally getting that kick in the balls from the shocking realization that Pip really did die. Hey, we gotta go find a Dodocaris, so I'm not gonna even mince my... Pip! I completely forgot we lost Pip! Shit. The death started to sting real bad, so I busied myself trying to distract myself from the fact that Pip died. I crafted some artifact pedestals, a gauntlet from the amazing blueprint I got a couple days prior. I then collected some metal from the forges, paused to place the pedestals and artifacts, and then finished grabbing the rest of the metal. This is where I realized that I needed to do a metal run, so I went out with the RG, got the Enki, and went out for a metal run. No montage, but here's a single rock. That okay? While editing this, I now realize that I shouldn't have skipped the metal run because it didn't finish until the late afternoon of day 41. Alas, I am an idiot, and a stubborn one at that, so we march onward. Finishing the metal run, I began my way back home, where I found a nice level and a nice colored Enki, which I proceeded to tame up.
Does he look like a bitch? What? Does he look like a bitch?
I was out in the morning of day 32 with the theory, where I was collecting a bunch of wood to fuel the forges, as I had gotten a hefty haul with the metal run. And a hefty haul it surely was. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I then threw it all into the forges. I was out looking for a Tapajara in day 43, but instead I found that level 85 Doed that we passed up a while back. And I did not want to make the same mistake twice, so after committing a crime, I knocked it out.
Can we get 10 trillion likes right now?
It tamed out okay, and in the early morning of day 43, I went out with it finally for a stone run. Afterwards, I wanted to use the stone for cementing paste, but I found that the Dodocaris didn't fit through the door, so I had to do some demo. After that, I rolled the Doed in and crafted a ton of cementing paste, and after that, I made a new door. In the early morning of day 45, I only really did some crafting. With a bunch of the resources that I had gotten lately, I made a ton of Trankdars and got the things for a couple stacks of grappling hooks to go caving. Afterward, I used one of the Rex saddles that I had crafted a while ago to saddle up the Rex that we had for a journey. I also got the Saber and was gearing up for said adventure. The main goals of my mind was getting a new Tapajara, another Rex for breeding, a higher level Doed, and to run any nearby caves I may come across on my travels. However, I took a 30-minute break and forgot all of that. When I got back, I instead gathered up the cementing paste that I had been crafting, put it away, and then grabbed the Doed to go get obsidian so I could start crafting polymer. Productive, I suppose, apart from me deciding to just roll there. On my way to the obsidian spawns, I went up the mountain and I ended up getting attacked by a pack of aloes, which was scary for a second, but then I just threw out the saber and they killed them all. I also found a cool colored Rex, but it was low level.
Tom Holland, man, what the fuck? Man, I don't want to talk yo.
Eventually, we got to the obsidian where I harvested some, and then began my way back home at sunset. I got home in the early morning of day 46, where I began bringing the obsidian that I had collected inside to make polymer, though I paused as my Doed decided to do something abstract. Alright.
I feel so bad for the person watching my stream based on me whiff a shot. Yep.
Dodocaris, are you okay, my friend? What the fuck was that? I just walk near you and a fountain of shit starts pouring out. Anyways, I began to actually make the polymer, and then later on towards midday, I finally decided to head back out and do some adventuring. But instead of my plan from earlier, I just decided that I was going to hunt alphas for levels. I guess. Anyways, we went out looking for alpha raptors along the rivers near Greenob, where I actually found something really good. I found a level 95 Tapajara, more than enough to replace Pip, However, in the endeavor to tame it, we struggled. Okay, bug off, you damn bugs. Right now I'm doing 100 days recording for an hour-long video I'm gonna eventually make. There we go. Knock out, knock out, knock out. No, you're not knocking out.
I just keep on beat.
Damn it, I missed. It's cool. Okay. Alright, come here, buddy.
How to play him.
Come on, before he spooks. Oh, he's gonna spook. He's gonna spook. He's gonna so spook. There you go. Please pass out. Also, I forgot to whistle the bird. Get back here, bird. I still got 3. Also, God, this is awful. And I'm not gonna be able to hit that.
Forgive me for what sight is seeing.
I actually hit that? What? Oh, RG, get down here, please. Oh, that's bad. How do I get up there? Huh. And we're gonna go after this guy. Actually, let me eat a rare mushroom.
What about you? Now, I was wondering, would you like to go with me?
I ended up knocking it out in the early morning of day 47, and then it tamed later on in the later morning of day 47, where I cryoed it and began flying for some more adventure. Though, while I was flying, I remembered that in my inventory, I had a spare Tapajar to saddle, so I parked the RG and saddled up the new Tape. That's when me and a friend decided to name it Mercy, since Pip didn't really get any. I was still adventuring in day 47 as nothing really happened in the latter parts of day 46, and to be honest, nothing really happened until midday of even this day, where I found an Alpha Raptor in the redwoods and decided to use my Rex to kill it. Nothing else happened on that day. Anyways, on day 48, we returned back to base, where I decided to make an industrial forge. Though I was talking to a friend while I was doing it, so I didn't exactly comment while playing, so I can't really show the footage of me talking about it. Nonetheless, I went about placing the indie forge, putting it on top of the roof, which meant I needed a stairwell up to it, but in order to make the staircase, I needed to remove some of the old forges, which I went about doing. Eventually, I got it all done, where then a bit later, I gathered the creatures that I would need to go caving. And after a bit of travel, we arrived at our destination, where I decided to bite the bullet and do the lava cave. But before we properly ran it, I found a female level 100 Megalania, perfect for Saul. With it tamed, however, we now had to actually run the cave. Oh god, this was one of the most nerve-wracking 2 days of the entire playthrough. Stop pushing me towards the lava. Let's not do this. Stop it. Stop going so fast, please. God, Jesus. after 30 minutes and all the mental composure I could muster, I eventually left the cave in midday of day 50. Thankfully, to lighten the mood, just after I found the high-level Rex, which I proceeded to tame. This was the last thing we did on day 50, and unfortunately, this is where I'm going to have to call it a video. It was a blast editing these 40 days for this part of the series, but I want to keep somewhat of a uniform schedule with posting, so I've decided to cut the video here. If you've made it this far, I would like to thank you with all my heart. It's been so fun making these videos, and I genuinely hope that you enjoy watching. And for those wondering what's next, be excited, because the next video will be the final video of the island, days 51 to 100, so get hyped for that. Though for now, I have to bid you adieu, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video.